when we talk about health, I always focus on nature as our guide. Nature is our guide. And with all of life, our connection to nature really determines our overall health and our well-being. And nature is really kind of our deepest and our strongest connection. Nature is, so to speak, orderly and balanced. And if we understand how to harness nature's energy, and if we understand the power of that and how to harness nature's energy, then we also can build our health and we can keep that. We know that in nature there's orderly cycles. We know the sun rises, the sun sets. We know that after fall, winter will come. After winter, spring. In other words, it's orderly. Within those seasons, we don't know exactly what one season's going to be like. It's kind of unpredictable, right? You don't know, but you know what will come. So there's an order, there's a structure to that, right? And so many of these principles, these points I'm going to talk about, really have to do with nature and how do we align with nature's cycle. Unfortunately now, also many people are living against nature. Shopping now, you could shop 24/7. Just go online, shop around the clock. Sleep problems are growing like epidemic now. People can't sleep well. If we can't sleep well, we can't recharge our energy. We can't get healthy. Right? And then people don't have energy during the day. I joke about it all the time, and some of you have heard this or are sick of hearing this line, but wouldn't it be funny if we banned coffee and sugar from this country? Wouldn't that be interesting? No coffee, no sugar. It's banned. It's illegal, like some drugs. People couldn't function. So when people say that they have good energy and good vitality, I seriously question that. What does that mean? What does that mean, have good energy and good vitality? Take the sugar out of our diet and take the coffee out and see what kind of energy we have. That's not good energy. So, there's lots of things that are shown that we're imbalanced. Right? So let's start with the very basic thing in terms of really creating health, which has nothing to do with what we're eating. And you're going to laugh at the kind of the simplicity of it, but I guarantee you there's an enormous power in it. And the problem with many of these things I'm going to talk about is that they're too simple. That's the problem, right? That you'll hear these things are going to go over some people's head and go, yeah, I know that. But we still don't do it. So number one, when we eat, very simply, sit down. That's it. Sit and eat. Right? Sit and eat. Sitting and eating basically means sitting and eating without doing any other thing but eating. Usually the things that we know we really don't want to eat or shouldn't eat, we'll eat them standing up. Like the cookie jar, we just walk by and grab one and eat it, and walk around and go back again, and like that. So number one is sit down. So sit. Okay? Number two is regular. Sit down to regular meals. Regular. What does that mean? That means that we eat at regular times every day. Okay? That means it's similar times. Does it mean to the buzzer goes off and that you have to eat at that time? No, it's not that rigid. But when meals are regular and consistent, that regulates every body function in our life. Everything is regulated by the time that you eat, regardless of what you're eating, just the time that you're eating. Okay? So the regularity regulates your bowels, regulates urination, your blood sugar, your hormones, menstruation, your sleep. Everything's regulated by the time. Nothing to do with what you could eat a T-bone steak and it'll still help regulate things. Yeah. Just the time. There's nothing to do with what you're eating. It's just when you're eating. It's very interesting. There's a program at the Cushi Institute out in the Berkshires where I'm on the faculty. It's called the Way to Health program. And when you go out there, it's like a 6-day program. Actually, someone goes around with the bell. So at 8 a.m., ding, 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 bell goes. And it's breakfast time. 12:30, ding, 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 lunch. 6 o'clock, ding, 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 ding. This is basically for a week. So 21 meals with the bell going off. Okay? Have you experienced actually that in a program for like maybe 5-6 days? Any of you? What does that feel like when you have that? What's that?
Awesome.
Tell me more. What does it mean, awesome? Like what?
I just feel everything is set back to the way it should be, and just that regularity, and like you said, sit down and have down conversation with people.
Does it take pressure off of you in a way? Do you feel more relaxed when you know it's like right there? It's awesome, right? Yeah, it's awesome. Which is why sometimes I think that maybe the best use of my effort in my life would basically just creating centers where people can come and get meals and the bell goes off. Casa de Luz, which is one of the most unique places in the United States, doesn't exist anywhere. It's kind of like that. It's an absolute oasis and a gift. The reality of it is that you have nice, fresh food 3 times a day, and the bell goes off and you're there. It's incredible. Could you imagine if those were all over the country and how people's health would improve? Because when we have regularity, that builds confidence. Now, if you grew up with that regularity in your life, if you had that, that built a certain kind of anchor in your life from the beginning. Some people didn't have that growing up. Some people came from homes and families where it was very chaotic. You didn't know when a meal was. It was irregular times. You skipped lunch. That's the reality. Some people didn't have that. But some people had that. And that regularity is like an anchor in a big cruise ship. It's like anchors you in your life. If you want to be anchored in your life and really not have big highs and lows, which relate to blood sugar instability, for those of you dealing with hypoglycemia or diabetes, you know what I'm talking about. That when those meals are regular like that, that creates a kind of anchor and a stability. And your blood sugar is even, your moods are not up and down, you're not overeating, because the worst thing about eating late like 2 in the afternoon is your blood sugar plummeted. Now you're more likely to overeat or need more sweets to get your blood sugar back up. You normally wouldn't eat things, right, at that time if you ate earlier at like 12 versus 2. Obviously things happen in life, it's not like there's perfection, just things happen. But what I'm saying is that when you can try to orient your life day to day and make a schedule so that you're giving yourself that time, you have a lunchtime. The difference is amazing. What saddens me when people tell me, oh, I don't have a lunchtime at my work. I'm not allowed to take a lunch break. Or I have to work and eat. Or I just don't take lunch. Right? Or I eat lunch at 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. It's impossible, no matter how good the food is then, to create health. Eating earlier releases pressure. It relaxes us. It stabilizes our blood sugar. We're less likely to overeat. We're less likely to need sweets. It's a very simple thing. But many people don't plan their day and look at, well, when are my meals? No question it's getting more difficult now for people to do this because people are working longer hours, people have more commute, couples, both people are working. Getting food on the table at a reasonable hour is a big problem. And we don't have, here maybe a little bit more in Austin, we don't have a lot of places that are really great natural foods restaurants or great options. There aren't a lot. You can pick up something at Whole Foods or wherever have you. But we don't have many options. Many places around the country, it doesn't exist. It's a problem. But that aspect alone is enormous.